On that unfaithful day, the DSS officers came to my house. At 11:45 a.m. led by a DSS officer, Daniel, with 6 other officers in an OP Mesa Elox van. When they got to my house, they said I have in my custody what it takes to destroy the enemy. I asked, who are the enemies? And what do I have that I want to use to destroy the enemy? The officer Daniel said, I am not ready to cooperate. That when I get to their office, he's going to show me his other side. Then by then, I will give them what they want. I said, okay, no problem. They took me to their office that Saturday. After a series of interrogation, humiliation, abuses, calling of names, calling me hackers and different kind of names, that I'm an enemy and threat. I'm working for APC. How can a young Nigerian like me be working for APC? I became frightened at that point. I said, you came to my house, you told me you did not come to arrest me. Why are you not telling me all this? After they wasted my time the whole day, they said, okay, since I'm not ready to cooperate, I'm not ready to give them what they wanted, because they requested for backup hard drives and their password to server. I said I don't have all that because I don't even take them home in the first place. So eventually, that day at 8 p.m., they released me and asked me to go and come back on Monday to pick up my phone. Little did I know that that Monday would be the beginning of my nightmares in the hands of DSS. I got to their office on Monday with the hope that I'm going to collect my mobile phones. After they wasted my time for like 5 hours without anything, they just came and said they want to change the location. And that was how I was flown to Abuja with my 5 other colleagues. And chained, leg chained, and blindfolded until I got to Abuja. At a point, I thought I was going on a firing squad because I didn't know where I was going. When I got to Abuja, that was the beginning of it. They started calling me names. Stupid woman. Useless woman. So you people are the change. You people are the APC. You people are the one that want to change Nigeria. Abi, instead of you working for PDP, you are working for APC. So you are the one that want to change Nigeria, Abi. Okay, by the time we are through with you here, you will remain here. I became frightened the more because at that point in time, nobody knew where I was. I could not communicate with anybody. I could not just do anything on my own. After going through a series of interrogations and stuff like that, what do we do? I told them the nature of my job, what I do as an administrator, and what we do in APC data center. They said no, that we do more to it. That is not what they heard. They heard that we are cloning cards. I said, fine. You already have our bags. You have our forms. You have our hard drives. You've requested for my password. I've given you all you wanted. Why don't you go and do your findings? What else do you want me to do? What else do you want me to say? He said no, that I have to cooperate with them. And one of their superior officers came to me and said, Madam, I have wives. If you cooperate with me, you will leave here in no time. But if you don't cooperate with me, I can bet you remain here as long as I want to keep you here. I said, Oga, I have given my statement. What I've been saying in Lagos before they took me down to Abuja is still what I keep on saying. What else do you want me to say? You say I'm not ready to cooperate, that you have to cooperate. If you cooperate with me, I can bet you I'll give you another job. I became frightened the more because he was, talking to me with a loud, deep voice, frightening. I could not even see him. But the frightening of his voice, I could tell that it's not just a small person or a younger officer. At some point, they were now forcing me to say things that were contradicting my statement. they have to say to suit their own purpose. What are the things we do? We only register members. And this is the way we do it. This is the way we enter it. If there is any error, my duty is also to check, print out these errors, and give to the supervisors to edit. That is all. He said, no, can't be all. You can't be just doing this and they'll be paying you 80,000 naira. You can't be doing this and they will open up this whole center. No, there's more to what you are doing. You are earning more than that. You don't want to say the truth. Drop your account number. We'll go and check what is in your account. I get them my account number, and even my balance, I put it there. I said, go and check. If anybody has bribed me to, why should I even cover these people when they don't even know I'm here? So if I have anything to tell you, I'll tell you. I don't have anything other than this is what we do here. He said, okay, take her to her room. She's not ready to cooperate, and she will remain here. At that point, because of the statement, I started having a pelvic pain. I was frightened. I had emotional torture. I started having pelvic pain. I had to complain. They said I'm lying. I said I told them before I left Lagos that this is my medical condition. These are the drugs I'm taking. I see no reason why they should even fly me in the first place. They took me to their medical center. The doctor could not attend to me because he's a man. And in their culture, a man cannot touch a woman. He only looked at me and just took me back to my room. I started bleeding, and I kept on complaining. They refused to do anything. Every day they call me out, the same series of interrogation, the same question. I kept on writing the same thing all over. They started making me to twist my word, and at the same time I still arrive at the same statement. But still they were never satisfied. They wanted me to write something that would suit their purpose. I still held on to my statement. I never changed my statement until the point that they said they are no longer interested in banner, that I should remove it and put that there is no signboard.
On that very fateful day, very early hour of Saturday 22nd November 2014, we were in our office upstairs as supervisors doing our works, monitoring and supervising our data entry agents when the incident happened. It was first a kind of inexplicable bangs and the kind of noise we could not describe on our gaze and around the wall. One of us tried to peep out from the balcony to know what was happening. We first thought that it was a gang of armed robbers that had come to swoop on us. But before we could know anything that was happening, some FT men, all in darks, and with clustered in their hands, very heavy, and the kind of guns we had never seen before in their hands. They brought it. We felt highly afraid, terrified, because we didn't know what was happening. And they were just a kind of dragging us, whipping us downstairs, bullying us, shouting at us, yelling at us to move downstairs. It was like a terrible drama, a nightmare. We got downstairs into the main sitting room. We saw our data entry agents, our subordinates. They were all seated already. Very terrified, afraid. They were all seated on the floor. We saw them, and the gardeners, the cleaner, the security agents in the facility, they were all there. We joined them. And thereafter, they just sought to know who their leaders were. And some of our agents, they signified and pointed to three of us. Myself, Olakwosifayemi, Hebon Ilori, and Chinedu Atuche. And from here, and there was Chika with us, the IT personnel. So they sought to having him on too, and because of his technical experience. And from there, they distributed us. They started taking us about, breaking into rooms, trying to drag the rest out that were possibly resting after the night walk. They dragged them all out, and they drew them into the place where they had held as captive. And there and then, they distributed the four of us. They took us to places, myself and the Chika, they took us to the warehouse. They broke into the warehouse because they had come with some tools, a box of tools which contained mallet, hacksaw, and And one strong iron tool, which they used to remove nails, they broke into the warehouse. They carted away 33 Ghana must-go bags of our forms. They beamed light, serious light, on this, our subordinate, that data entry agent. They started questioning, many of them started questioning him. I could sense, I could see in that guy an aura of somebody who was highly terrified, who didn't know what he was doing, who was just being questioned. Questions were just being forced out of him. Eventually, some of us too were they were calling us into rooms one after another. We went to the room. In fact, I had left home some days before them, and I was terribly dehydrated, weak, because I was just expecting very early in that morning to go back home to go and rest. I called my wife that I was coming home, and my wife and my family was expecting me. I was dehydrated. I was so weak. They saw it in me, and in fact, they wanted to give. They saw that if I would take water, but I didn't know them. They kept asking us questions, and the way it didn't suit them, they will reject it. One day rejected my statement up to 3 times. My interrogator was Umar Bello, and his number is anyway, it's Umar Bello, and we were there. They started interrogating us. They'll be shouting at us. They'll be shouting at us, bullying at us. In fact, we'll be feeling intimidated. At times, what we didn't want to, what we did not, we will write it the way we would not ordinarily, if it had been free, the way we would have written it. We will write it. When it didn't satisfy them, they asked us to write it to suit them.
It was very early in the morning. One of my agents came upstairs, and he told me it's like there are some people inside the compound. And I said, who? He said he doesn't know them because they are on black. Then he ran back downstairs. Later, Chinedu opened the front door to check who is there. So later, we tried to run downstairs. So we met about 3 of the guys, very hefty guys. They came upstairs, and they said we should move downstairs. So when we came downstairs, we saw all our agents. They were sitting down on the ground. And the man asked us, who are those? Who are the leaders here? So we stood up, I, Mr. Fayemi, and Chinedu. So they now told us, they gave me a letter that is a search warrant, that they are here to search. They are not here to harm us. So when we read the search letter, they said we are dealing with some items that has to do with the forthcoming election. So they are here to check. So when the guys went in, when they checked everywhere, later they asked, who is your manager? So we told the guy that our manager is BB. He now said, okay, that they need to check some things. We said there's no problem. They want us to cooperate with them. Then we told them there's no problem. So later, they went to the receptionist desk. There they find out that we have a project manager, a project coordinator, and they had me. So they asked I and Chinedu that where is the office of the project manager? We took them upstairs. When we got upstairs, they vandalized the door. They opened it. They took out the system. So they went to the project coordinator office. They tried to break the door, but the door was too strong for them. So they opened the window, they snapped picture, then they came downstairs. So later they were calling some of their guys. They wanted to go, but later they changed their mind. They asked us to drop all our phones inside the basket, which we did. So later when they called, the other guy was telling them there is more to what they are doing here. It can't just be APC alone. There's more to it. We can't leave them. They have to go with us. So they asked us to line outside. Later they came. They snapped us. They said we should kill 2-2. They snapped all of us, and they brought their vehicle in. They bus inside. They said we should move in. So eventually, when we got to their office at Magodo, one of the officers called me that he needs to know who Esther is. And I told him I don't know Esther. Esther works in the morning while I work at night shift. He said there's an information with Esther they need to retrieve. Then I told them I don't have Esther's phone number. I don't know where Esther lives. So I don't know anything about Esther. So he asked me to describe Esther. I did. Then later, when they got the information about Esther, they went to go and pick Esther. So later, when they were interrogating some of the agents, the news came out that that some of the DSS have vandalized the APC center. So the guy was so angry when he came in and said, you see, look at what APC is doing. We've not even done anything. Look at what they are saying in the news. So they put on the TV for us at the reception. Then the guy now called me later that now they've tarnished their image, that they have vandalized APC center, that they needed to video me. There are some things they need to ask me, and I must cooperate with them if really we want to leave the office. Then I said, what do you guys want me to say? That they will video me. I have to tell them that the office was not being vandalized when they get to the when they came to the office. And I told the guy, Daniel, the guy name was Daniel, when you came to the office, you vandalized my project manager's office. I was there. I was the one that took you there. You went to the coordinator office, you did the same thing. Even the warehouse, you did the same thing. And there's no way you can video me and I will tell Nigerians that you did not vandalize our office. And I said, we are not ready to go. That since you are their supervisor, I'm not going to release all those agents. But if you can cooperate with us, we will release all those agents to go, everybody will go, and there will be no problem. And I told him, if you want me to tell Nigerians exactly what happened, I will do that. But there's no way I can stand, you will video me and I will tell them you did not vandalize our office. He said there is no problem. So they videoed me. I gave my statement, how they came to the office, how they vandalized the project manager office, the coordinator office. So later in the day, they asked us to go back. Then one of their officers called me and said, what you guys are doing is not good. You guys are not cooperating. And they don't know the reason why we are not cooperating.